Hi everyone, so today I'll be doing a review on the 14-ounce 3-wick Kringle candle in the scent Melon Medley. The retail price of this candle is $24. However, there's currently a sale going on. If you purchase 3 of these new limited edition 3-wick candles, you get that for $33, making each candle $11. This candle is 100% soy with colored wax with an approximate burn time of 45 plus hours. The scent description listed on the website reads, Melon Medley, a splash of summer in every wick. Juicy watermelon and zesty citrus dance together in a refreshing, bright blend, while a hint of vanilla sugar wraps it all up with a creamy, sweet finish. Perfect for bringing in the sunny vibes of summer. Top, watermelon, mid, citrus, base, vanilla sugar. So this was one of the new limited edition 3-wicks that were released. I don't really like that there's not really a cohesive theme besides the format of the label. It's kind of weird to me that the fragrance notes are listed in the front. Normally, Kringle has been putting them on the bottom label, but that's not the case here. And then we have a picture of what I believe to be scoops of either melon, cantaloupe, honeydew, and potentially watermelon on the right side. I also think it's a little bit weird that the lid for this candle, it's like a shiny, almost like of an orangey copper lid versus some other lids have the silver kind of matte with the K embossed on it for Kringle, and then some of them are black. So there's not really a theme going on besides the label format and whatnot. I had my sister smell these candles. For this one, she said that it reminded her a lot of the candy Now and Laters, if you're familiar with it. And I do agree because I get this taffy candy note. And that makes sense because there is a sugar note listed. And in order to create taffy, you boil sugar in order to make that concoction. I know that some people might describe this as like a Jolly Rancher, like watermelon Jolly Rancher type scent. While it does lean artificial because of the heavy sugar note, especially on cold, less so when you go to burn it, but it's not, an artificial, sticky, hard candy watermelon Jolly Rancher type scent. To me, this reminds me a bit more of like a chewy watermelon heavy based candy, if I'm making any sense. So the strength on cold, this one was a bit lighter. I only ordered 3, so this one would maybe be a 6.5. So I thought, okay, this might be a little bit lighter while burning, which was the case. But normally in my experience, watermelon, any other type of melon scents, even cucumber, those fragrances in candles are pretty strong. However, while burning has been pretty light, at least in my opinion. I've been burning it in my medium-sized bedroom. I only have one door leading into the room, and I do not have the central AC or a window open, so there's not much airflow to help kind of move it along. So strength while burning, I give it 5 out of 10. It did pick up at some points to like a 5.5, but generally I'd give it a 5 out of 10. So to me, that's a little bit too low for my liking. Projection, I would give it a 5 to a 6 out of 10 because it does fill up my medium-sized bedroom, but I do notice that I have it burning in the corner of my room, and the scent is a lot more concentrated on that half of my room versus the other end. So there's that. Okay, so here's an overhead view of my candle. I am now on my 3rd hour of burning. Normally I keep my burn times up to 4 hours, but never exceeding that. I really like that Kringle candles, their wax pool gets very deep. So my wax pool right now, it's over an inch. And at first I was a little bit worried because I do know that some customers of Kringle have experienced that their 3-wick candles and maybe even their 2 wicks, the wick glue tends to come undone, but that hasn't been the case. So I'm very happy. I feel more comfortable burning it closer to 4 hours than 2 hours. No issues with that. My flames are a decent medium strength. I wouldn't say that they're high and I wouldn't say that they're low. However, the burn before this one, or maybe 2 burns before this one, I did trim my wicks. And the reason why I stopped trimming them is because I noticed that my flame was getting a little bit lower. So that's why during the last, I would say 4th of my candle, I'm not going to trim my wicks. If some mushroom top does form, which I do not see currently, I'll just go ahead, knock that off. But besides that, there's no issues. There's no sooting. I don't have a lot of Klingon wax on the sides. But to go onto the scent, I feel like it has transformed a bit. It's definitely slightly less sugary than it smelled on cold. So that makes it a little bit less candy, taffy-like, and I get more of the watermelon, like the juiciness of the watermelon. Melon, like cantaloupe and honeydew, aren't listed in here, but I do get another type of sweet melon scent. I don't really like melon at all, so I can't, like, I don't know if it's cantaloupe, honeydew, but it's definitely something besides the watermelon. I think I glossed over this part, but I know that the mid note lists citrus, but for me, I don't really pick up too much on the citrus. It doesn't stand out on itself. I think it's just blending well with the watermelon and potentially some more melon notes in here. So I can't really detect if it's like mandarin, orange, like tangerine or something. I mean, if I had to guess, I think it'd be just lemon, because also I think Kringle tends to put lemon in a lot of fragrances. But yeah, it doesn't stand out on its own. If you were to tell me that this is just a straight watermelon, like sugary watermelon candle, I'd probably believe you. Overall, I feel like Melon Medley from Kringle is like sweet, simple, to the point type of a watermelon scent. While I am a bit disappointed that it isn't stronger, I haven't had any performance issues, and I don't see myself having any performance issues closer towards the bottom. Thankfully, my wicks held on, so I'm really happy about that. Also, there's no wax discoloration, no sitting. This one, I think I didn't mention this previously, but compared to the other 3 wicks from this order, this one, I noticed that the first burn took a bit longer to pull out compared to the other ones, and the subsequent, I would say like 6 or 7 burns. So whereas the other candles, it takes about I would say maybe like 20 to 30 minutes to give off scent. This one, I feel like I need to wait like 45 minutes or so to really build that up, but that could just be because the scent itself is a bit lighter. And that leads to would I repurchase this candle? I initially thought that I would repurchase it, but it's just a little bit too light for my personal preference. I think this would be better suited for smaller size bedrooms. So yeah, I would say like a small bedroom, a small office space. But if you enjoy scents that are more in the background, then I think this would be good for a medium size space. Definitely not a living room. I think that when I have this candle burning in my medium sized bedroom, granted, I enjoy stronger fragrances, I sometimes forget that this is burning, because while I can detect it, sometimes when I bring in food, because I have this problem of bringing in food into my room, especially popcorn, that can really mask the scent of this candle. So it's not strong enough to compete. Let's say if I have a very strong wax smell in here, it'll kind of get lost. Or if I have a stronger candle burning on the other end of my room. So yeah, while it is a nice scent, I think it is a bit too light for my personal preference. This is a good summer scent though, don't get me wrong. It's great, especially during the hot weather, and even like when it cools down a bit, it has this slight refreshing feel, because watermelon, while it's juicy, this one isn't super cloying. It's not sickeningly sweet or anything. So I feel like you can have it burning all day. I almost forgot, but here is a side view of my candle. I have a full liquefied wax pool, very deep. My flames are about a medium, and the color of the wax looks very pretty. You can even see the wick clips through the colored wax. So yeah, no issues really with this candle. I just wish it was a bit stronger. So would I recommend the scent? Yes. Would I recommend the performance? I would just say that if you are okay with slightly lighter fragrances, granted, it's not unscented, but it's just like a low medium, in my opinion. Or if, you want a watermelon scent that isn't your stereotypical like Jolly Rancher watermelon, Jolly Rancher candy, I think this is nice for you, especially if you enjoy taffy fragrances. I don't know if you have this candle, but for me, it reads very much like Now and Later, Laffy Taffy, that type of, you know what? Not Laffy Taffy, Now and Later specifically. Again, I would recommend with certain caveats. Would I repurchase? No, even with the 3 for $33 price point, making this candle $11, because you would have to pay for shipping unless you have points to redeem, and you would have to pay for route protection. And while I enjoyed this candle, I don't see myself as repurchasing it. Maybe if it was less than $11, I would, but then I would have to pick 2 other candles in order to qualify for the deal. So yeah, that has been my experience burning Melon Medley from Kringle. Again, it's their 3-wick 14-ounce 100% soy wax candle. Limited edition. I don't know how long these will be out, but it is a nice fragrance itself. Let me know if you have any questions, and thank you so much for watching. Okay, bye.